So I'm speaking with the governor of Bornu State, Professor Babagana Zulum. Um, After the incident happened at Zaba Mari, rather, on Saturday, where over 40, at least over 40 rice farmers were killed. So let me start by asking, what happened at Zaba Mari on Saturday?
Good morning. Actually, what happened was in Koshebe. Koshebe was a community. It's a community in Mapa local government area of Bornu State. But Zaba Mari is a population which is very close to Koshebe, and most of the victims are from Zaba Mari. What actually happened was that Zaba Mari and indeed Koshebe community are agrarian communities. We have a vast agricultural land, fertile land, completely Padama land, as well as arable land. People used to cultivate rice in this very important land. What happened was actually people are normally staying in this village. Koshebe town itself was deserted 4 to 5 years ago as a result of the insurgency. They were displaced. But we have people in Zaba Mari. People used to go to Koshebe. They used to farm and then sometimes spend the night, stay for 2 to 3 days for them to earn their means of livelihood. And then after some days, they will also come back to Zaba Mari, where they normally have their children and they have their families. So the insurgents found them in their farmlands. They assembled them in one point, and unfortunately they slaughtered them. They were being told, convinced that they want to have a meeting with them. Give them some preachings and so on. And you know, the people were so scared. They gave up because they didn't come with gun. They thought they mean well for them. It was unfortunate that after some certain conversations, they were picked one by one and then they were slaughtered. Not even they were slaughtered like cows. That was actually what has happened.
And how many people died in these killings? Because we got official figures from Borno State government, from your table. They said at least 43 people died. And the United Nations also came yesterday saying 110 people died. So how many people died? How many people escaped? And how many people were kidnapped?
Actually, yesterday I attended the funeral prayers. What I saw with my naked eyes is 34 in number. But I was told that they are yet to get some of the corpses. So they are still in search of the corpses. And by today, we shall get it. We shall have the total number of those that are affected. But honestly speaking, what I saw was the number is 34. But the community have told me that the total number that were affected are 43 number.
Okay, and this community where these killings took place, just to be clear, is it inhabited on a good day? Because I remember you mentioning, is it inhabited? Are people living there, or people only go there to farm? It's like I heard you saying it's one of the communities where Boko Haram has overrun, and people don't live there; they only go there to farm. Just to be clear, is this community inhabited by people, or it's just farmlands where people go there to farm?
Yes, you know, the Koshebe is a community hitherto inhabited by people. But as a result of the insurgents, people were displaced from Koshebe since 2014 to date. You are getting what I'm saying? So we have people in Zaba Mari. Zaba Mari town was never displaced. We have at least nothing fewer than, I think, close to about 10,000 people in Zaba Mari. So normally people used to leave Zaba Mari and then go to Kosheve and other areas surrounding Zaba Mari for them to farm. And then some people are not living in Zaba Mari also. They are coming from some other areas within Bornu State. Some are even other part of the countries. So normally, as at now, there is no human population in in Kosheve. So I think what happened actually is that it's more or less a farm settlement for now. But people do used to go there and then they go to their farmlands. Maybe sometimes they used to come and spend the night in Kosheve. But actually, it's for now, the community is completely deserted.
And can you
the entire area, covering about nothing fewer than about 20 square kilometer, or even more, about 40 square kilometer, is completely a farmland. So people used to live there. They used to migrate from their villages and then have some small settlements around around Koshebe during the rainy season, or during the dry season, during irrigation period. And then they used to come back to their hometowns after they might have harvested the proceeds of their farmlands.
So, can you confirm if women and children were among the victims?
I don't think so. As of now, I don't have such a report that women and children are involved.
And were people? And do you have? Can you confirm that some people were kidnapped, and was anybody able to escape?
Yes, some have escaped. About 13 of them have escaped. As at yesterday. But I don't think that we have women that were killed in the massacre.
And those who escaped, what have they said? What have they said to you or to the community? Have they been able to confirm that the insurgents took away any of the farmers?
What actually, the issue of abduction, nobody has said anything about abduction, because what they did is beyond abduction. So it's only when somebody is thinking of receiving some ransom and others that will be abducting somebody, but they meant purposely to kill these people. What they told us is that they met them in their farmlands and then they gathered them individually to Koshebe town, put them in a house, and then pick them one by one. They will call you. When you go out, then they will slaughter you. And then normally, since they did not use gun to shoot them, nobody has used guns to shoot them. So they cannot even run, because they will call one by one, and then after some few minutes, they slaughter them. It's only at the tail end that among those that have killed them, then one now told them that you people should just run away. That was actually what one of them has told us. Then they ran away. The remaining has run away.
Since you became the governor of Bornu State in 2019, when you assumed office, we've had incidents and stories of deaths, kidnappings, destructions. In fact, you yourself have escaped attack at least 2 times I can remember. Some people would say that you have failed in the protection of lives and property of the people of Bornu State. How do you react to that?
I have what?
Some people would say that you have failed in your responsibility of protecting the lives and property of the citizen of Bornu State. How do you react to that?
I think I shouldn't be the one to answer this question. The people of Bornu State knew who am I. You can have another session to ask any other individual from Bornu State to agree to knowing whether I fail or not. I'm not supposed to answer this question. But even if you are staying in London, I hope by now, as a reporter, you should know more about me. I'm not the type of person that will fail. And I've never run away from my responsibilities. When you heard that I was attacked, when you heard that my convoy was attacked, when you heard that even my policemen were killed, I think this question is supposed to have been asked. You're supposed to have asked others to tell you.
So who should take responsibility for these killings and for this destruction that seems to go on without end? If the buck doesn't stop on your table, who should be held responsible? Somebody needs to be held responsible for
Honestly speaking, the insurgency has triggered acute humanitarian and post-displacement crisis, a devastating social and economic impact on the population, further deepening fragility in the northeast sub-region. But I'm a realist. Let me say the right thing. I was a commissioner for reconstruction, rehabilitation, and settlement between 2015 to 2019. I served in many committees in Bornu State between 2011 to 2015. Despite the challenges that we are facing now, the situation cannot be compared from that of 2011 to 2015. In Maiduguri, even in Maiduguri town, in 2015, by now, you cannot even ask me. You cannot even speak to me, Piazzo. So recently, I don't shy away from saying truth to the power. Never. What has happened yesterday was very unfortunate. But the matter is that the security situation now, when compared to what has happened in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2015, we had a lot of improvement, despite the recent killings that we are seeing now. Because before then in Maiduguri, by now, in the morning before 8 p.m., we could have experienced nothing less than 4 to 5 bomb blasts inside Maiduguri town. Many were injured. The numbers of people that were killed were so alarming. Yes, up to 400 and 500 people were killed in a day. Up to 1,000 were killed in Bama in a day in the year 2013. So I think...
And what will you attribute for this change? Who would you give kudos for this? Who would you say... Are you saying that the army has woken up to its responsibility or is doing more to protect lives and the territory in that region?
What I'm saying is that in the year 2014, Bornu State has 27 local government areas, but 22 are under the control of the insurgents before. We are getting what I'm saying. Now we don't have any single local government under the control of the insurgents. I'm not saying that the insurgents were completely defeated. No. We are far from making this statement. But the truth of the matter is that despite the recent happenings, the situation is still far better when compared to what has happened before. Because before then, Maiduguri itself is only one road. The road between Maiduguri to Kano was accessible out of about 6 major roads that we have in Bornu State. But now all the roads are accessible. But still we have major challenges because one of our greatest problems is that of having access to our agricultural lands. You cannot keep people in ITV camps. People need to go out. So our people are in two extreme conditions. In the left-hand side, if they are kept in the IDP camp, or if they stay in their community without having access to their farmland, you are getting what I'm saying. They may be affected by, honestly, some of them may be killed as a result of hunger and starvation. Then on the right-hand side, access to agricultural land is also a serious problem. There is a donor fatigue also. For our people to completely depend on handouts from the governmental and non-governmental organization is no more sustainable. So you can see what is going on now. Then people are now eager. People want to now get go to their farmlands and get their means of livelihood. But unfortunately, the insurgents are now even killing them in their farms and burning their farm produce.
And therein lies the problem. If they stay in the IDP camps, they suffer the risk of starving. And they take the
Yes.
risk to go to the farmlands and they're being attacked and killed by Boko Haram. Despite the fact that you say that there's been some marked improvement in the protection of lives and property in that region, and that the number of people that are being killed and kidnapped by the insurgents have gone down. What people are seeing is still people are still dying. People can still not move around freely and all that. So, what needs to be done to put this in check?
Thank you very much. I think, let me say the right thing. As I told you now, the situation has, despite the situation has improved, in terms of area under cultivation, areas under cultivation for the last 6 years, we never had a better time than this year. Areas under cultivation has increased by about 400% this year. But the major problem is that we are now in our 11th year of this insurgency. When are we ending this insurgency? Honestly speaking, I am in Maiduguri. People are not here. Sometimes, people can speak anyhow. When you don't know what is going on, you can't speak. I just left Maiduguri this morning now and then attended a third-day prayer of a deceased person. In the year 2014, you can't move in the town. We were inside Maiduguri town. When you are walking inside Maiduguri, you will be shot. You can't attend any function for about complete 3 years. So the line of demarcation is very distinct and can never be crossed. While we appreciate the support of the Nigerian government, the support of the Nigerian military, but still what we need is that we want the Nigerian government to take the war to the shores of the Lake Chad. We have 3 very important places in Nigeria, in Bornu State, that is harboring the Boko Haram insurgents, in the shores of the Lake Chad, in Sambisa Game Reserve, and in Mandarahim. Unless we are able to displace these insurgents in these 3 locations, we shall never get rid of this problem. This is one problem. The second problem is that the total number of the numerical strength of the Nigerian military, of the Nigerian police, civil defense, and others working in the states is limited. We need more men. We want federal government to recruit more. Then who should they recruit? Let them recruit our own youths that are very much conversant with the terrain. Then the number 3 is that whether we like it or not, the only option, the best option is for us to get coalition of some external bodies that will support us, especially the government of Chad. Chadians are very important to us. Cameroonians, Niger, under the multinational joint task force, they should work together to ensure the defeat of these insurgents. We might even go beyond the neighboring countries. They look for some mercenaries and others in South Africa and others to ensure the defeat of these insurgents. This is very important. Another most important thing that we need to do is for us to create jobs. The root of the insurgency is not limited to pandemic poverty, pervasive illiteracy, high unemployment rate, social inequality, drug abuse, poor economic infrastructure, environmental degradation, among others. So we need to address the root causes of this insurgency. How? We create job, means of livelihood. Now many people are living in the IDP camps who have now access to the agricultural land. There's increasing prostitution in the IDP camps. There's increasing procreation without care in the IDP camps. There's increasing drug abuse in the IDP camps. There's increasing child abuse, rape, and others in the IDP camp. So people are now eager to go back home for them to earn their means of livelihood. Otherwise, you cannot keep a huge population in one place. without access to food, without access to their means of livelihood. Boko Haram are recruiting them. That is the main reason why, since I assumed duty as the governor of Bornu State, I'm trying to ensure that people are being settled. But ensuring that people are being resettled, the first condition that we need to obtain is minimum security to ensure safety of lives and properties of the people in the return.
And I just want to ask, have you put all this to the federal government? And asking this to balance the question I asked earlier, in as much as some people can sit where they are because they are not in Bornu State, like you have said, and say that you probably might have failed in your responsibility in protecting lives and property. Others that have seen what you have done on ground and how that you're not shy to call the government to order, when things are not out of place, to say that you have done this much. So have you put all this to the federal government, and what other efforts have you made so that attention is given to these things and so that these needless killings are stopped?
Well, this problem of insurgency has a lot of dimensions. You are getting what I'm saying. There is war economy now ongoing. One, as far as I'm concerned, since I assumed the office as a governor of Bornu State, I have strengthened the resilience of the community. Bornu State was not like that before. As I told you now, areas under cultivation have been increased by about 400%. And honestly speaking, if not because of what has happened last 3 days, we have started witnessing gradual return of peace in many communities in Bornu State. We have opened up access. Access is very important. You can see we have returned people to Kukawa, Bada, because hitherto the lecture was providing employment opportunities to about 10 million Nigerians. The lecture has a total areas of over 25,000 square kilometers. So there was no people in Baga for the last 3 years. Now we have returned people to Baga. Why we return people to Baga is that Baga has the potential of creating employment to people. We have waterway, we have peace. So this is one remarkable achievement. Another achievement is that we were able to resettle people of Kukawa, Goshe. This morning, we are returning people of Martin. All these people are living within the shores of community, shores of lecture. It's a semblance of peace. If there is no peace, you cannot even dare to follow the main road. While I sincerely acknowledge the serious challenges that we're having now, I'm not saying that the problem is over. But I think, including the federal government, the government of Bornu State, and the military have tried their best. But we need to end this insurgency. How? We need more equipment. We need more technological warfare equipment to deal with this insurgency.
And as the federal government, what has been the federal government's response to your request? Would you say they have been supportive and cooperative?
Well, I think you need to understand the Constitution of Nigeria. The Constitution of Nigeria, the issues of military and others, is the sole responsibility of the federal government. Because security is under the exclusive legislative list. It's not under the concurrent legislative list. But as the governor of Borno State, I'm the chief security officer of the state. So what I shall do is that I shall supplement the effort of the Nigerian military by strengthening the resilience of the community, peace building and social cohesion, recruiting more civilian JTF, supporting the army and others, community participation. But so far so good, we have written to the Nigerian military. If you can understand, the Nigerian military was able to, especially the Air Force, was able to procure some additional airplanes to fight the insurgents. Even the Nigerian military, recently we have started receiving a lot of machineries, a lot of equipment and others. So the federal government, to be honest, I have criticized the Nigerian military many times. I cannot shy away. I'm not afraid of anybody. But honestly speaking, I need to say the right thing whenever there's changes. compared to what has happened, what was happening before, the federal government is doing a lot, but we need more. Now, some of our major problem now is that, if the town is safe, Zaba Mari was not attacked for the last 1 year. But the problem is that the means of livelihood is very, very important. We need federal government to recruit more civil defense corps. They should form part of the what we call agro rangers, so that they shall be protecting the farmlands. That's something which is very important. And then secondly, we need federal government to create more jobs, so that these youths will not be recruited into the insurgent, which is very important. And then that most important thing is that we want federal government to open vista of opportunities for the teeming population growth to have access to the agricultural land, access to the aquaculture farming, access to their livestock farming, with a view to addressing this problem. So looking at this one, federal government has rolled out a lot of interventions through CBN. But again, we need more coordination. We need to coordinate what we are doing. And we need to bridge the gap between the population and the government. You are getting what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally get you. I'm sure that you have been following what has been happening on social media since this happened on Saturday. It has been trending, and it has even led to people asking again that the service chiefs be sacked. And this is not the first time this is happening. It keeps happening and happening and happening. I want to ask you, what do you think about that? What do you think about the calls from Nigerians that the service chiefs be sacked because they are not doing enough?
Honestly speaking, the recent killings in Bornu State is very sad. And I condemn it. And I think we have to do something to stop these incessant killings. You are getting what I'm saying? But in the issue of sacking of the service chiefs, I'm a state governor. The mandate of sacking the service chiefs is purely the constitutional responsibility of the president of Nigeria.
But do you think that will end the problem? Because I think they're calling for them to be sacked because they feel like they are not doing enough to stop all these killings. Do you think that is the solution? Or what is the solution?
The most important thing is that let's ensure that what we need, first of all, let us determine what is needed to end the insurgents. When you say you need more weapons, when you said you need more men, Bornu State has a total area of about 76,000 square kilometers. So personally, I don't want to comment on this one, because among the Nigerian military, some are performing very well. Even that, we have one person, the commanding officer commanding the areas of Zaba Mari and Koshebe is one Webb. Mr. Webb is one of our best commanding officers. He did a lot in protecting our people. Because of what has happened to him, he's not from Bornu State. He's not even he's not even a Muslim. He's a Christian. But we must commend him because of what has happened yesterday. I cannot simply just come out and say, for the first 2 years, the guy has been attacked several times. He did a lot in protecting our people. He killed many insurgents. And because of what has happened yesterday, I cannot just come out and condemn him. That means I'm trying to demoralize him. You are getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
But the fact is that let us come together and say the right thing. Why are we not defeating the insurgents? There is a lot of sabotage in the system. I said it many times. So the federal government has to look into this problem critically, examine what are the lapses. Whoever is responsible for this crisis problem shall be dealt accordingly. That is what we need. But honestly speaking, in the system, there is a lot of sabotage. Otherwise, we could have ended this problem. We have to come out with a Marshall Plan that we can end this insurgency.
And do you see an end to this insurgency? Do you think it can ever end if we're talking about things like sabotage from within and all that?
There is serious sabotage in the system. I said it before. When I was attacking Baga, I said there was a sabotage in the system. But people don't understand. Some are saying that I'm trying to condemn the Nigerian military. No, there is sabotage in the system. There is sabotage within the politicians. There is sabotage within the Nigerian military. There is sabotage within the civil servants. You are getting what I'm saying? That does not mean that I'm generalizing everybody. But for us to, there is corruption in the system also. For us to succeed, we must address this, all these layers. But honestly speaking, between the year 2015 to 2010, the federal government has released a lot of funding. Federal government has done a lot. But we cannot just keep quiet and say federal government has done a lot. We have to again come up with a new strategy of ending this insurgency. If you are doing something for a long time and the thing is not ending, whether you are putting much or not, you need to re-strategize.
Okay, sir. Just before I let you go, I want to ask, how is the mood in Bornu State? How do the people feel? And how does all this make you feel? The killings, the destruction, the kidnappings. You feel like you're taking a step forward, and this happens, and people are demoralized again. So, how does all this make you feel? And the people, are they optimistic? What is the mood generally?
While the mood is so sad, I don't think very people could slept yesterday. Very people will slept yesterday. These
And
people
did you
were
sleep
killed.
yesterday?
The 34
How
of
do you
them.
sleep? Can you even?
Hello?
How do you sleep? Did you sleep yesterday? Because I know
No,
we started this
no.
conversation
You
with
can
you on
see
the
my
road.
eyes. When you look at my eyes, you can understand that. No, I couldn't sleep well in the night. It's very horrific. The situation was so horrific. But again, we are very optimistic. Because as I told you, in the year 2013, 2014, inside Maiduguri, you cannot walk. When you are going, somebody will shoot you. But for the last 1 or 2 years, even 4 years, this issue of for the last 4 years, no single person was killed inside Maiduguri town. You are getting what I'm saying? So we are so much optimistic that this thing will come to an end. And Bornu State has experienced similar situation before. In the 1990s, I think in 1901, we had one problem called the reign of rabbit. Rabbit came and killed many people. Thousands of people were killed. But fortunately enough, we bounced back again. We are so much optimistic. My humble self, I'm so courageous, I'm so committed. I will never be deterred in ensuring the restoration of peace in Borno State.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor of Bornu State, Professor Babagana Zulum. Thank you for taking our time to speak with us, and we wish you and the people of Bornu State all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.